Gesundheit, my friends. Best health to you. Another share of current events in history, pop culture, sports ball isn't here, it's somewhere else. So I was looking up Mr. Tesla. Everyone's heard of Tesla, not the current Tesla yuck bucket, but the original Tesla. And wondering where all the noise comes from about the man and the woo. And a lot of that is just invented noise. But what I think the man knew about, understood, was there. This is in the time 1856 to 1943. So he had a long life. But during that time, he invented, created, engineered, designed, scienced how to make a higher frequency AC current. He personally got up to a 20 kilohertz sine wave. And then his continuing work after that was in radio and frequency spectrum work. When I don't know that that term spectrum was coined yet, it was being used, it was being developed around that time. So I'm looking at the instruments and the detectors that were available to him that he might have run across in the universities and such that he was at, to try to understand how he could see what he saw, what he experienced, what he got ideas from to keep on, to add on to. Because you don't just invent things from nothing. You have a premonition, an idea, touchy-feely, right? Then you build a hypothesis, and the hypothesis with evidence becomes a theory, and then the theory gets debated, and sooner or later it just becomes an electric motor out there in the world. So he did the 20 kilohertz thing, which is pretty impressive back in those days. But they had no type. They were at a boundary, right? A physical limit of what the science could measure. All the devices they had were good, but rudimentary. So they could sense temperature. They were beginning to learn the meaning very well of all those colors in the fireplace, in the campfire. They were beginning to learn very well about telescopes and refraction and light. But this was all, these were the pencil and paper days. These were long, tedious, thought out things. These were ideas, you go to another person's lab and you see something out of the corner of your eye, and hey, I've never seen an instrument like that before. Because people, given the time to pursue these things, 1856 to 1943. So around 1889 to 1890 is when that 20 kilohertz thing he discovered. It had a different, the energy coming out of that generator had different properties. They had spark generators. So the world of electrons, they were well aware of and didn't know what it was. This is all they could see. They couldn't see other things we can talk about now. They couldn't see high energy particles. They found missing pieces in their equations. Not that the equations were wrong, but you're getting to a new set of particle physics. The world is amazing, and you're in the middle of it, and you're privileged enough to be in a university setting, a research setting, a corporate research setting. If you've been near corporate research labs, they're almost as cool as our federal research. There's no difference. They've been sold out. So Tesla's head was wrapped in this stuff, but he had words like aether and alchemy still hanging around. We were working through these things. They were people that were going to make gold themselves from something else, right? Alchemy, the search for precious metals, pottery turned into ceramics long before these times. So what I found was to try to do some of this research, and it's just kind of interesting if you're a instrument person, or if you're a science person. In Wikipedia, yeah, go fish, there's a section called year something in science. So type in year 2000 in science, and you'll come up with a list. If you're a wiki editor, you can go in there and add on to those, complain about it, try to get them corrected, and join what is a pretty vibrant community out there in that wiki world. So Wiki Year X in Science is one of the things I use to piece through what did they have? What were the tools that might have been in his labs, his area, or in the general sciences that would have sparked him into something new? So what came in this, just, a thought experiment, if you could get actually any of these people from the 1800s here today, if you could get Mr. Tesla and have somebody give you and him a tour of CERN and the detectors in CERN, totally new physics, and yet they're seeable. You can understand all that they see, and what they see is nothing, which is very odd to pose in your mind. But what they're seeing is the nothings that was part of long ago creating the universe, trying to figure it out. So the whack stories about Tesla, he definitely was a unique individual. But the whack stories are more the fiction surrounding a long path here, and the drudge, and the through the sciences, and the books that keep changing. Only they get better. They get corrected over time and history. So that's what we enjoy, some of us. So Wiki Year X in Science, because it's free. So peace out. Just a little bit of something different. I'd like to go into a rant about politics, and I wish the good people of faith the best in these journeys.